When we think about what moves us, what truly sparks a sense of wonder, we often imagine these moments as rare, once-in-a-blue-moon experiences. But is that the whole story? We find awe in all the big things, right? Well, let's try that out. Today, let's talk about the awe that surrounds us every day and how you can discover it right alongside all the normal touristy sites and experiences when visiting any city or place in the world. On past trips to Lisbon, we visited all the main tourist sites. We love them and we'll see them again because we can. However, this trip we wandered, explored, and just enjoyed ourselves in everything we did, seeing what we could find to enjoy. This trip was about what it would be like to live, rest, relax, and enjoy this bustling capital city of Portugal. It'll be fun. Vai ser divertido. Bom dia. Have you ever dreamt of traveling the world, moving abroad, but wondered how you would do it? Then you have found the right channel. With people constantly looking for their next adventure, we want to show that there are many ways and you don't have to be a millionaire. Let's go.
Lisbon has so much to see and do, and it's really fun to pack a schedule full to the gills and just go off on an excursion, just marching from one end of the city to the other to enjoy the beautiful churches, monasteries, time out market, and whatever else. But what happens if you take the trip a little slower and try to find awe in each and everything you do? Well, for starters, you slow down, and when you slow down, you enjoy a longer breakfast. In our case, we went to find this lovely little wine cafe that we'd been at on our first trip years ago. Now, it was a little hard to find there, so we arrived a little later, but we were expecting it to be fairly empty, as that's how it used to be. But we were here during a busy festival, so when we got there, it was packed. The only table open was this big long table where at one end there was already some people sitting. So we sat down and started talking, meeting some locals and some people from around the world. And one group was from Chicago on their honeymoon. Some others were living a dream year, their gap year in Lisbon, and they were from Colorado. This nice man, who we talked with for a while, he was waiting for his family to arrive for a dinner. They were from Lebanon and had grown up in North Carolina. Ultimately, though, it is just nice to take a moment and sit down and to enjoy things. It gives you a good break from the high-speed adventure.
By the way, I'm Alan. Alongside my wife, Leslie, and our son, Wolf, we are from the Midwest in the United States. Now we find ourselves on the beautiful island of Madeira, Portugal, embarking on one of the greatest adventures of our lives. At 66 years old, the prospect of retirement loomed large, but we weren't millionaires, and the idea of affording retirement or even semi-retirement seemed daunting at the time. Time was slipping away, and I yearned to truly savor life. So we decided to take a leap of faith. We redesigned our lives, found an affordable haven, created side incomes, sold everything, and crafted our own version of the ultimate life. Please give us a like and subscribe to learn from our journey as you work to navigate your own. It'll be fun. Vai ser divertido. Welcome back to It'll Be Fun. Today, we're diving into a journey of awe and wonder in Lisbon. Awe is normally described as a feeling of being in the presence of something vast and mysterious, something that is more than the ordinary. It doesn't just make us feel good. It is also linked with kindness, compassion, creativity, and enhanced cognitive abilities. So, how do we experience more of it? In my family, they would say that being outside in the sunshine pulling weeds on a Saturday morning or walking through a garden after a long day at work is truly filled with awe and wonderment. I bet you have had a similar feeling you grew up with, but when you think of awe, that's not the first thing you think of. You think of the big experiences, like the first time you see Roman ruins, or walk up to the edge of the Grand Canyon, or wake up on a cruise ship looking out over the horizon as the sun starts to rise. How about finding the courage to live your ultimate dream? We understand that, and our It'll Be Fun Moving Abroad program is designed to take you through the process step by step. Sign up at www.it'llbefunretirement.com. The link is in the description below, along with a discount code. The program takes you through choosing your dream destination or destinations, running the numbers, understanding visas, getting rid of all the junk or treasures that you've collected, planning pets, children, what to do before you leave and after you arrive. You know, it's an A to Z program. It'll all be worth it. It'll be fun. It's not just the big things that spark awe. That's what we were looking for on this trip. Little things can spark awe too, like walking through the narrow, winding streets of Alfama, Lisbon's oldest neighborhood. Stopping to see the bougainvillea growing up from a crack in the sidewalk. It's early in the day still, but we can already see people prepping for the St. Anthony Festival that evening. In the meantime, we have the whole Old Town to enjoy. We walked up into the castle town, just surrounding Castello São Jorge, walking the tight old streets. Finding a hidden place to explore, we stopped at the Church of the Holy Cross of the castle. Just next door to the castle, we find that the church lets you climb up into its bell tower for €5, getting a drink and a history lesson on the way. The money went to the reconstruction efforts, and the views were absolutely fantastic. No matter where you are in the city, take a moment to watch the locals. See how they interact with each other and how they live their daily lives. There's something awe-inspiring in the simple acts of kindness, like an old man helping his neighbor with groceries, or a shopkeeper greeting customers with a warm smile. We come to another overlook, sitting down to have a coffee, and in the distance we see what we decide will be our next stop, a large church across the way. After finishing our coffee, we begin our walk over, intentionally walking the side roads, enjoying the quiet and calm, until just as we arrive, it goes back to being busy. Filling the streets in front of the church, actually a monastery, are trams crossing back and forth, buses arriving, and tuk-tuks cramming themselves in between. We almost didn't go over towards the church because it was so busy. But we hadn't seen it before, and these sorts of places were always beautiful inside. Walking over, we discovered a side entrance into the monastery of São Vicente. And there was just something about this visit. There weren't many people, so we walked slow, nothing urging us to rush through, so we could make our deadline for the next exciting stop. We found ourselves in the select area at the front of the church, touring the beautiful monastery. First, we toured a museum and recollection of the place's history, exploring the halls and courtyards by ourselves, opening up into a massive courtyard, then getting an almost solo experience view of the massive cathedral. It was truly stunning. We continued on, slowly taking in the monastery before passing through a blue tile exhibit that you could spend an entire day in. And finally, we arrived at the rooftop with beautiful overlooks of the surroundings. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this a popular stop? And yes, it is. But people don't necessarily stop to enjoy it. And there is something just special about enjoying something without being bound to a schedule. When visiting the gorgeous cathedral is an objective, there is no all there. Let alone that most everyone who went to see it only saw it from a free entrance, barely setting foot inside.
We often think of awe as something we find in grand spectacles, majestic mountain peaks, the vastness of the night sky, or just an epic, grandstanding concert. But awe can be found everywhere, and it's often a lot closer to home than you think. So we traveled to Lisbon. For us, now living on Madeira, a super easy trip, just to spend some time and look around and see what we'd missed. We've been there before, but we've always rushed through, looking at the big touristy things, riding the tram back and forth, and it's easy to get wrapped up in all of that. Go to the famous elevator, make a day trip out of visiting Belém. And I love all these things. But as cool as these big attractions are, sometimes you just get a little lost and you get taken out of the moment. It feels less like you're visiting this awesome new place and more like you're marking things on a checklist. So one day we were standing around in the main square, just watching as blown bubbles from a vendor were drifting by, and then we stepped just off the main drag to enjoy a less busy section of the city, where the big festival of the weekend was at its quietest, with just locals around us. And sitting down with a sandwich there was one of the best spots we sat down for that whole time. Of course, that isn't to say we didn't then rush out the door to go to our next touristy destination, in this case the timeout market, but it gave us some time to slow down and take things in, so that when we got to the timeout market, we could enjoy it better. We got over to the timeout market, and it was just a stop on our day. We grabbed some breakfast, in this case, donuts, and walked out the back only to stumble upon an old church.
Since Leslie is a horticulturist, a visit to any place would not be complete without spending some time in the peace and quiet enjoying a garden. For this trip, we were determined to find a new one. And I mean determined. We pulled up Google Maps, and at every chance we had, we detoured to check out the patches of green that were marked on the map. Finally, we walked up to Eduardo VII Park. The park is more known for the length of green and the book fair. The 64 acres of park is lovely, and the book fair is a fun place to sit with a glass of wine, grab a lunch, and explore. But we had finally found what a horticulturist was looking for: a gorgeous greenhouse filled with exotic plants from all over the world. We spent the afternoon in Estufa Fria, Lisbon's cold greenhouse. This 3.7 acre garden is like a beautiful lath house, quiet, cool, calm, and lovely. While the cold greenhouse was the largest selection, the hot greenhouse and the humid greenhouse were just as cool. Walking through each of the three sections in this lush green paradise, you can't help but feel a sense of wonder at the diversity and beauty of this natural world. So, the next time you're in Lisbon, or anywhere for that matter, remember to slow down. Look around. Experience the everyday wonders of life. The all you seek is all around you, just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more adventures. See you next time on It'll Be Fun. And remember, awe is everywhere. You just have to open your eyes to it. Our Moving Abroad program is now available. It pulls all the information you need to know into one location for you to refer back to it anytime you want. We work through managing expenses, expectations, life coaching, choosing your new country, and more. Our programs, Patreon, and affiliates are how we support this channel. Links are located in the description of our videos, as well as on our website and Patreon. We'd like to take a moment to thank all our Patreon supporters. Your financial support is truly appreciated, allowing us to create new content. We should have done this sooner. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help us grow. The next stage in your life is a journey.